Okay, so around this time every year for the past, at least, let's say 6 years, I've done a holiday video. Even when my business was shutting down, even when I was hiding off social media. So I thought, let's go ahead and do it now because I am pregnant and I want to make it now. I think it will be helpful for everybody. It's December 1st when I'm recording this. And I want to hear from you. You can make little notes if you want to come back to this later when you can listen and like jot down things in your journal, or you can make notes in the comments. So I want to know from you, how has this year been for you? And what are you feeling into for next year? For me, this year was a lot of like preparation. I found out I was pregnant on May 1st. So we since then have been like, okay, we need to do this, we need to do that. And that's one of the blessings of getting pregnant older, is I know how to look into the future and foresee gaps or like potential needs and shore them up before they happen. So I wouldn't say I've been like wildly peaceful the whole time, because I was like, oh my God, I have to give birth, and oh my God, I gotta get my finances set up, and oh my God, I'm a contractor, and oh my God, I gotta do this, and I gotta do this, and I gotta change my whole life. But I am peaceful now. Like, I told myself I was gonna like be like that until Thanksgiving, on and off, of course. And that was true. So what we say matters. So if I could go back in time, I would have said I'm gonna be peaceful this whole time. But yeah, I feel pretty settled and clean about things now and less afraid to give birth, because I'm more excited to meet Hazel, you know? So that's a little thing for me. And what I'm feeling into next year, believe it or not, I'm actually pretty excited about the work area of my life. I thought that I wouldn't be, but I am. So that's kind of a nice surprise. I thought I'd kind of be like in a checking the box vibe, because, you know, motherhood's such a big transition. And I'm more excited about motherhood, of course, but I'm actually excited about where my career is going to, and my marriage and all the things. So for me, I feel into next year as faster off, chasing a little thing around. But I also feel into the word complete. And I feel like I will be spending less time in the external outside of my house and more in the house, but what's in the house will feel like complete and exciting. I feel like for the past couple of years, I've really been doing a lot of things in the community, maybe in my neighborhood and so forth. And, you know, I'll still be doing that, but I think I don't care as much, you know, like I love all of my friends. I'm lucky to have had the same friends for a decade and a half, but I just kind of have a different vibe around just trusting that people will be there, where I used to feel like if I don't hang out with somebody every 3 months, like we won't be friends anymore. I don't have that anymore. And I shouldn't, right? Because we've been friends for like 15 years. So a little bit less of that. My like, one thing I did, which will move back to you, is I just wrote myself general intentions. I'm looking at my laptop. I wrote like in my notes app, I have intentions general, stick to discretionary income. I have really been working on this, and this is my like last little thing. I really don't feel like managing my money anymore, but I want to stick to a budget. So here's what I did this year. I cleaned up a lot of my expenses, and then spreadsheets really made me think about running my business and not having any money. So we got off the spreadsheet and we're into this app called Honeydew, where we can see what I pay and what Chris pays. And because I'm a contractor, sometimes I have more invoices, sometimes I have less, but I usually count on my consistent one. And because of where the dates fall every 2 weeks, I don't know if you have this, sometimes I'll have like $600 discretionary income, and sometimes I'll have -5. So I went and was like, what's the number I'm gonna have no matter what? And it was like $300 every 2 weeks. So whereas in the past, I was like, that's not enough. I just made it enough. And it actually feels a lot better to just stick to that. So like, I was also doing this thing where I would like do a lot of PayPal and fours or Klarnas and like say that didn't count, and it does count because they all add up. And so that was a big leak of mine. So one of my things is sticking to that discretionary income and just keeping things simple. I'm like, what, like, as I talked about looking into the future, what am I not going to have time for? Like falling short because I bought random stuff, or just having to talk about finances a lot. So we really put everything on automatic. The other intention I have is to unplug from people's stuff. I love humans and I love checking in on them, but I'm super, you know, an improving people pleaser and fixer. So unplugging from people's stuff, we'll just say that. Less time texting. I literally put this, and this is the biggest freedom I've ever had. If someone sends me something that looks like drama, I just delete it. I didn't know I could do that before. Let me just pass that to you through the screen. It's like someone in my family sent me this like text, and before I would like fight them or need to be understood, and I just deleted it. Bye-bye off the phone. So I wrote my next thing is something I've been playing with, template, like as a human, manager versus muse. So I love to organize things. I'm a good project manager. I'm very much on top of things. But as a creative, I'd rather be in a muse state. So the manager leads you to the muse, okay? But now I want to move from manager to muse. Intimacy up and more fun. The muse is over there doing that. The manager is what made it possible. I could go in and on and on and on and on about that. But I said, like, an example is like talking and playing versus just chores and talking about other people. Unplugging from them, new energy. Money on money versus lack, track, and loops. When you stop spending every dollar you make, the money stacks on the money, then it stacks on the money, then it stacks on the money, and you don't have to track anything. You see? The manager made it possible to be the muse to make it possible to stack the money. Presence, trust, prayer. Presence, trust, prayer. And I do feel like that. I do find it fascinating. Anything I write down will happen. But it doesn't always happen right away, and it usually looks like craziness. Like, I wrote a paragraph for my pregnancy, and when I wrote it, I was so sick. I had the worst first trimester ever. Not ever, I mean, but you know. And I wrote this paragraph. I'm going to read you like 2 sentences of it. And the time I wrote it, I was like, bitch, please. But actually, it's true now. It says, our pregnancy was filled with an overwhelming sense of vitality, with each day bringing a deeper connection to our child and each other. Every step of the way felt like a miracle, from the glowing moments of anticipation, from the support we received from family, friends, and even strangers. I keep going. At the time, I had horrible white coat fear. I even wrote in here, every doctor's appointment was reassuring, and it has been, and it will continue to be. But at the time, I had really bad white coat. I had a little medical scare early this year, and my blood pressure was really, really high. And I got really scared of going to the doctor because of those 2 things. So yeah, I mean, it didn't feel real at all. So that's a little bit about me and what's going on here. What I would do if I was you, if you want to do anything I did, I would write what you don't want to do anymore. You make yourself a little intentions list. I would ask yourself, what role are you primarily playing? For me, manager. What role do you want to be? Muse. So play around with those archetypes, and what is in the one you feel like now, what does that one need to complete to move to the other one? Okay. So it's like my financial stuff, the systems, the manager needed to finish those, and you're going to tap back into the manager, but nobody wants to be the general manager of life all the time. So what archetype are you playing in? What would it feel like to move to the other one? And once you get there, what will it feel like? And then write a paragraph intention, even if it feels so fake, for the holidays, and just play with it, and then maybe do one every quarter. It really, really does work. And then, yeah, you have full permission just to hit delete if somebody sends you something crazy, and you don't have to analyze it for them. You don't have to be understood. Okay. I hope that you have a really beautiful holiday season, and maybe there'll be another one of these, but in case there's not, this is your end of your video. Bye.